What up, and welcome to Is It Worth It? With the Backwards Hat Guy. Today we are looking at Batman Arkham Origins. And here I am on the rooftop. So, this is Batman Arkham Origins. First, right off the bat, I just want to make a comment as to some of the reviews. If you've seen any reviews on this game, I think it's kind of gotten pretty bad rap towards, it's gotten some pretty bad reviews, which I think are completely unfair, and you'll understand why once I kind of get through my reasoning. But first of all, one thing you do need to know, if you don't already, oh, can I get this? Nope, locked. Alright, so one thing you need to know is that this game is very heavily based on the previous game in the series, Arkham City. If you've played that game, you may recognize a lot of this because it actually uses the same map. It's just expanded upon. In Arkham City, the city has been closed down and turned into essentially a prison. So in this game, this is actually a prequel to Arkham City, and so the city is open. There's no big walls cutting through the city, so the city's much larger. And so yeah, but same art style, a lot of the same assets and stuff were used from Arkham City in this one, so everything looks pretty much the same, and that's part of the reason, well, that's pretty much the main reason why this has gotten some pretty bad reviews from certain people. But honestly, it's still a very solid game. If you ever got a chance to play Arkham City, you'll know that these are fantastic games, very high quality. This does what it does, and it does it very well. It's a Batman game. You fly around the city, you kick butt using your gadgets. What could be better than that? I'm trying to see if I think I just hold down the click. So here we go. Jumping into combat, and I didn't push the button correctly. Oh, there we go. That's cool. Just knocking out thugs. This is the free flow fighting system. You just kind of jump from person to person. Exactly the same system from the previous two games, but it's quite fun. And there are a few new little gadgets, new moves. Bam! Finish him. And like in the previous game, you get kind of a little breakdown of your fight. Tells you what the threat level was. Breaks it down real quick. While you can just run away. Gives you a grade. So I got a B for that. That's not bad. I felt like I didn't do very well, but that's cool. So you fly around, and kick butt, and there's villains, obviously. In this one, I actually enjoy the story a lot more in this one because there's a lot of anyways, sorry. Official recognition stand. So there are these guys I need to track down. Oh, it's cool when you go into this mode, you can see who's talking, because you can obviously hear through your special gadgets. You can hear people talk. And you go into detective mode here, and this shows you people. It's kind of like X-ray vision, essentially. You can see people. So I need to go get that guy that was in green over there. He's got some secrets from the Mr. Enigma, which the Riddler, just like in the last game, you have your Riddler challenges. They're a little bit different this time, and obviously Mark Hamill is not the voice. But still very, very well voice acted. Which is one thing that's really great about these games. The voice acting is really good. Which makes it, bam.
Please! You're one of the scumbags Enigma hired to collect information.
There are others? I thought...
Shut up. Just tell me where you hid the extortion data.
Okay, you win. I'll tell you where it is.
Here we go. Location added to the map. Yeah, so we'll talk about the map now. This is obviously made for consoles, and it was ported very poorly, which is a bit unfortunate. You can't, I'm clicking, you can hear me clicking. You can't just use the mouse for anything in this part, so you have to use the arrow keys, and it's extremely sensitive. I mean, look at this. It like, it jumps around, and it's really hard. Okay, so file 13, what was this? Let's see if I can get it. There we go. Solve the crime scene. So we go over here. So let's look at the map here. You have the south side, you got 3 different areas here, then you have the bridge, which sometimes can be a little bit annoying to go across, it's kind of far, and then the north side. In the previous game, I think you could go into these 2 areas, and then there was the bridge, and then maybe part of this area, so I think this is kind of a new area, and then all this up here is a little bit new. And then here's the bat cave. And one new thing is these Batwing drop points. You can actually just click on it, fast travel. Bam, I'll just show you how it happens. You fast travel, fly. Oh, I'm gonna have to cut this scene. So there's a quick little cut scene which I have to cut, and then you fly down, and bam, I'm here, which is pretty much where I just was standing. And level up. So hit level up, and then you have, I like kind of the way it sets it up. This first tab is basically all the moves and stuff that you have right off the bat. So if you ever want to look something up, it'll show you, these are all things available to you right off the get-go. Then these are 3 different categories that you can actually level up. So you got the close combat, invisible predator, auxiliary upgrade. So this kind of upgrades your gadgets. This is more abilities for stealth, and this is abilities in combat. So we go through the menu here. Got some ballistic armor, some combat armor. I wanted to get to something here. Let's just get a little more armor, sure, why not? So you get experience, level up, and so let's see if I can find network relay. So it actually shows all of these things. You can set a point, and then on the radar it shows. This is kind of cool.
Attention all units, we need everyone on assignment. No 10-10s until further notice.
So crime in progress. I'm not going to really do that right now because it's those things that come up every couple of minutes, it seems like. They're kind of lame. They're always the same. I was kind of hoping for maybe some civilians, since this isn't supposed to be, you know, a prison area. Oh, let's see. Can I go in here? Nope. So it says there should be a data pack here somewhere. So that is a little bit of a disappointment. They really didn't change that much at all. Still have those same crime in progress things. They're not any different. They're essentially the same. But that's alright. So let's see if I can find this thing. There's a door here. Can I go in here? Nope. So here's a little bit of your gameplay. You don't have to do these Enigma challenges and find the data packs, but I highly recommend it. And Arkham City had a really cool kind of storyline to go with it, and this so far also has a really good storyline with it that I've seen. And as I was gonna say earlier, I really like the storyline in this game, the main story. because it deals with some villains that you're not too familiar with, and also Batman doesn't know who the Joker is, which is kind of interesting. So he's trying to figure that out. And you have these 8 different villains that come and try to assassinate you. So you have to take on each of the villains, and you get gadgets from them for defeating them. So like, let's see, this remote claw. This is kind of cool. I can't actually, you have to use it on specific spots, but it shoots a cable, basically makes a new cable for you, which is kind of cool. Oh, what's this? Can I get this? Oh. Can I use my... Yes, I can. Oh yeah, there we go. Found it. So each of those data packs has a little puzzle with it to figure it out. A lot of them, like that one, need specific gadgets. Some of them you can't get till later in the game when you have specific gadgets as well. And this is really cool too. I put that waypoint down right there, and so you get the bat symbol. Same in the other game, I believe, but it's kind of cool. Helps you kind of view where you're looking at. So there is another data pack here on this building somehow, somewhere. If you go into detective mode, sometimes it can help you. It'll highlight kind of objectives. Some guys up here, I'll go fight them while I talk a little bit more. So yeah, the kind of the main story, I don't want to spoil it, but basically there's kind of one major villain who's behind something, you know, something big, and so he's recruited these 8 other villains to take out Batman, you know. So you have to fight off the assassination attempts while you try to discover what's really going on behind the scenes. And it's kind of cool. You have to track down the Penguin. He's got all the dirt on what everybody's doing, because he kind of runs everything behind the scenes.
Is this the end?
At least for money and the economy and the criminal networks. He's always got an eye on all of that, so you get to track him down at the beginning and figure it out, and he's kind of a cool character. This game, I love this game. I enjoy it. I would really recommend it. It's a very high quality game. If you like Batman games, if you like superhero games, this is, I mean, this is one of the best superhero games I've ever played. Arkham City's definitely up there, and this one's up there. Not sure yet which one I like more, but yeah. The bad. Let's talk about a little bit about the bad. There are bugs. So, yes, if you see any reviews on that, yes, there are bugs. Let's see if I can get that bug to happen. There's one really funny bug. When you're floating around like this, you just start freaking out. Like your head just dips down, and it's really funny. But yeah, there's a few minor bugs. I have heard of some people saying that there are some pretty major bugs in the single player, but I haven't really found any. There's a locked data pad right there. Oh, I can go down here. Cool. Ooh. Bam. But as with any like free-flowing game, there are a little bit of some weird movement issues sometimes. You know, you're thinking you want to do one thing and you end up doing another. So there's definitely some of that going on, but that's kind of expected. I mean, until they can tap your brain. Oh, look at that combo. Bam. Never lost it. So until they can like tap your brain and see what you want to do and make your guy do what you want it to do, you know, there's always going to be a little bit of issue with that. Same with like Assassin's Creed, when you run free flowing, running around. There's always those moments when you want to do one thing and it does another. So there's that, but it's really not, it doesn't get to the point of ultimate frustration. yeah, other than that, the combat is a little bit crazy. It's fun though. It's always fun. That's what I love about the combat, is it's never... It can seem like it gets a little bit grindy, but then it, introduces, some new enemy types that you have to deal with in different ways, and then it introduces a new gadget that you can try and use those in combos in different ways, and it's so it always keeps things interesting. And the storylines are amazing. They really are, and like I said, the voice acting is excellent. But yeah, I mean, the biggest complaint is really it feels... And the other weird issue is that the gameplay feels like a sequel, because you start out the game with a few of these gadgets, like the bat claw and the batarang, explosive gel, and the the remote control batarang. You start the game out with this, which is a little bit weird, because the old Arkham City, you don't start the game with this. Like, it takes you to, a little bit into it to get it. So as far as the gadgets go and the gameplay, it feels like a sequel. But then the storyline is obviously a prequel. So there's a weird dynamic there. It's a little bit strange, but it's really not that big of an issue. And it is kind of cool, because Batman just seems a lot more aggressive. He's younger. He seems a lot more aggressive. Early on, you try to get some information from a guy, and he actually chokes him out by accident because he's being so aggressive, and he doesn't get the info because he choked the guy out. So what do we got going here? Oh, so we got an anchor point here. Interesting. Oh, and it attached to that guy. That was fantastic. Let's go after the gun guy here. What's up, bro?
You just crossed the...
So you just kind of jump from one guy to another, and it's fairly simple when you've only got 3 guys. And when I took the gun guy out first, it makes it a lot easier. Bam. What a combo. Look at... Oh. So I'm hacking the... basically, Enigma has placed these signal blockers all over the city, so I can't... it's blocking my... my ability to call in the Batwing, I think is what it is, and so I need to hack these things and figure out, and shut them down.
Rubio, what's your 20? On the balcony for a smoke with a menace.
Those men on the balcony, that could be my way in.
What a shut case. Penguin murdered Black Mask and his lady friend.
Oh.
I mean, we found the...
This is actually... crime scene of Lacey Towers. This is Lacey Towers. So there's a crime here that I gotta figure out. There's... What are these things, though? Interesting. So I had to find a way to break into Lacey Towers, because obviously the cops don't really know who Batman is. This is at a point when, kind of pretty early on in Batman's career, he's still kind of a myth and nobody believes he even exists. So that's kind of a cool thing. So obviously the cops aren't going to let me just go in there and investigate what happened. But there was a death of a high-profile villain, and so I got to figure out, who was behind it. So that's what this little objective is. So again, it's just some really cool stories. And, it plays into, Batman, the great detective, and figuring out crimes and stuff like that. So, yeah. So, breaking it down to the big question, is it worth it? I would say yes, just based on the single player, and the multiplayer is a whole other issue. I'll talk about that in a minute. Won't touch too much on it, because honestly, it's one of those things that they just added on, and honestly, just on the single player, I would say yes, it's worth it. It is obviously a AAA game, full price, $50. They did have a sale on Green Gamer. I'll put a link in the description, but I believe this sale is over. So, my suggestion is if you've never played Arkham City, go and pick up the Game of the Year edition of that, because that has a couple of DLCs on it, and play that one first. If you've never played that one, that is well worth the money, especially now that there's a Game of the Year edition, and I think it's like $30. Definitely well worth your money. And once you finish that up, maybe this game will, you know, be on sale or have a Game of the Year edition. So definitely you want to check one of these two games out. But yeah, if you enjoy these types of games, flying around, kicking butt, good stories.
Gordon, any word on when we can expect forensics? Negative. All forensics units still tied up at Blackgate.
So I'm getting some more radio signals from that tower. Oh. So, is it worth it? Yes, I think it is. It's a oh, here it is. Woo! Little hoppy thing. But another thing to remember too about the bugs I was talking about earlier is they have already fixed. They had a fix today to fix a couple of the major ones, which is really good. Great that they jumped on that and fixed that. The biggest one was in the multiplayer, but there was a single player bug that whenever you went into an elevator, oh, there it is again. Woo! But yeah, obviously it's nothing game breaking. It's just kind of funny. But yeah, so is it worth it? Yes. And a quick little talk about the multiplayer. There is a multiplayer, and it is fun. I'm not, you know, I'm not trying to be negative on it. I'm just not a big fan of single-player games adding on multiplayer like Assassin's Creed did. It's the exact same type of thing with this game.
All units getting calls to extra service. Stand by.
They added in multiplayer. Is it fun? Yes, it is fun. But does it really add much to the game? No, not really. I mean, I could probably, you know, never play the multiplayer and be totally fine. But just to give you a little, if it is something that you like, basically what it is you play, there's 3 teams, 2 teams of criminals, 1 for Penguin, 1 for Bane, and then there's 1 team of heroes, which is Batman and Robin. So the 2 criminal teams have 3 players each on them, and then obviously the 2 players for the heroes. Bam. Look at that snow. I mean, that's so cool. Look at that. That is really cool. I don't even have the graphics all the way turned up. When you turn the graphics all the way up, holy cow, it looks really, really good. But I mean, look at that. You leave like footprints, and like in this battle, we mashed it all down. Anyways, sorry. Getting caught up in some of the details. Some of the details in this game are just fantastic. That's another thing, is like, it's just, the details are so good. Oh, here's a little pressure plate, which will activate. Should be another, where's the other light? So here's one of those mini games, little puzzles. Usually involves lights that you need to hit. So there's probably another one that I can't see. Let's see. If I step here. Is there one on the other side, maybe? Oh, can't fly through there. Yeah, so the multiplayer, there's 3 teams. You got Bane's team, Penguin's team, and the heroes. The heroes are really cool. Obviously, Batman and Robin, they have but Robin's pretty much the same. He has a little bit of different. But you have pretty much, you know, the main gadgets. But when you play Batman and Robin, you don't actually level up or anything because you basically already have everything. And the goal for them is to take out the criminals, and they're like, they have a panic level, and if you get their panic level all the way up, then that team just, you know, gets scared and leaves. And then they try to, the criminal teams try to capture points, capture specific locations from the other criminal team. So it's really cool because when you play as a criminal, you have to not only watch out for Batman and Robin who are sneaking around trying to get you, but then you've also got to fight against this other team. And so that's, it really does, it makes you feel like one of the criminals in the game. It makes you really feel what it feels like to have Batman and Robin stalking you. It's pretty cool. And the criminal teams, if they capture a certain number of points, they have a chance of unlocking their hero, which is either Penguin or Bane, and they each have their own special abilities, and they're very hard to deal with. So that's pretty cool too. It reminds me a lot of Star Wars Battlefront, how you can unlock the heroes. And Star Wars, obviously, it was the Jedi or the Sith, and they have special powers, and they're really hard to deal with, but it's not a total game breaker.
Giving up? Don't be sad. Your mind's just not built for this.
There's an Enigma taunting me. And so yeah.
Whoa,
Oh,
what is that?
I'm Batman, fool.
Bam!
Bam! No, you want to get... I'll bam you, son. So the multiplayer is fun. There's not very many maps as of, you know, right now. And big issue was that none of your data saved. And so that's kind of why I'm not showing it, because the, you know, the bit that I did actually play and save my progress, that all got deleted. But that has been fixed now. At least the developer says it has been fixed. I don't know for sure, I haven't confirmed, but it should be. Which, that was a huge issue. But I'm glad that they did fix it. Yeah, so there's a couple other weird multiplayer bugs. Not sure if they've fixed them yet. Not total game breakers, just annoyances. But yeah, it's definitely, I mean, it's definitely a fun game. I'm not gonna spend all day playing it, that's for sure, but it is definitely a fun addition, and it's fun to just jump on there for a little bit, play a few rounds, you know, level up. And then obviously the other big issue with the multiplayer is there are microtransactions, and you can spend real money to basically be awesome, which is extremely annoying. For me, I hate that. And it's just feels really cheap that you can just spend real money and be awesome. That's a huge issue. I'm not a fan at all. I believe Splash Games was behind the multiplayer. I don't know whose decision it was to do microtransactions. Probably Warner Brothers, but I'm not sure. And so that's kind of a disappointment. And so, you know, it's a game that I pay for. I don't want to also have stupid microtransactions with it, and it just seems wrong. But yeah, so definitely check out the single player. Jump on the multiplayer if you've got it. Check that out. It's fun. So yeah, this has been the Backwards Hat Guy. Thanks for watching. Is it worth it? And I would say yes, but also check out Arkham City. Bye.